Okay, so I have on the bench, out of a 2016 Dodge Demon, a ZF8HP90, and we're going to be tearing this apart. What we're going to be doing is I'm waiting for a performance set of clutches and steels that they're bringing me, so we're really just going to chunk this unit down and I'll get it prepared because he'll probably be here in a little while. Then we're going to re-clutch this thing because there's really no parts available. I can't really do much more than that. We managed to get one piston which I'm going to change, which is the C-clutch piston, which I'll show you. Also, we're going to talk about the pump bolts. We have a filter kit that comes with a pan. I want to talk about that because depending on who you buy it from, you're either going to get, the filter kit's about $200. So if you buy it from Mopar, you get the filter, the pan bolts, a drain and fill plug, pan gasket, and the pan for about the same price if you buy it from, and that's the way that Mopar sells it. ZF sells it, just a filter, the gasket, and the bolts, and it's basically the same price. So I have, they brought me a box with the filter kit in it. It has the part number, so I'll show you the part number, just in case you're in the market for a filter kit for these ZF8HP90s. So we're going to be taking this apart. Probably not going to find too much wrong with it. I'm pretty sure it was a working unit, but they do something with the engine. They're working the engine, so they want to reclutch it and put a set of performance clutches and steels in it. And of course, again, whatever pistons I have, I said, you know, we should try to change it. So the guys that are working together that send me this to do, one guy actually had found one piston, which I'll show you, and the pump bolts also really should be changed, but the ones that they got me I used already because on the other bench I have a Hellcat that I just finished. So I figured this one, that was the first HP90 I did, so I just wanted to look at that, and basically it's the same as the 8HP70. There are some differences, like the pan is different, the pump bolts, like I said, we're going to talk about the pump bolts. It's more on a beefier scale, stuff is much, you know, is a little larger to accommodate the larger engines. Alright, so let me get a little closer and we'll start. I just want to go over the filter kit and stuff like that. I want to show you the special tools again that I have. The rings have a test plate, air test plate now. And we'll get started doing that and then with the teardown process. So I will be right back. Okay, so here is the filter kit that they got from Mopar. All right, here is the filter. All right, that's what that looks like, and this is new, and of course you got the made in Germany. And we got the pump bolts in here, I'm sorry, the pan bolts in here. They are aluminum, so we're going to put new ones on. And you get the fill and drain plug. All right, so again, if you buy this from a ZF distributor, you'll get the filter, the bolts, and the gasket for the same price as you can get this whole kit with the pan. Right, let me just show you this pan. Here's the gasket. Here is the pan. It came in this box here. So I'm going to be putting this on this unit here. Okay. If you could see that, that's the part number. And I'm assuming this thing will fit pretty much all the 90s, you know, they're all the same. Okay, so now, just real quick here. All right, here is an air test plate that they had got me. This is this is who makes this. This actually, I guess, is made by Mopar. Part number looks like it's very hard to read. Looks like it might say 10333A, but if you Google ZF 8HP90 test plate, it'll come up. It's probably a Miller tool. Okay, and here is Again, we got to use these special tools because we have these cylinders. That are very, very fragile, and taking the snap rings off, you can break them. So we're going to be using those again. All right, now just real quick, before we start taking this thing apart, there's two different size pump bolts, two different thicknesses. All right, the ones on the top here, there's 14 total, so there's 7. The ones on the top are the thinner ones, and these should be the same as the 8HP90, and the ones on the bottom are the thicker ones, 7 and 7. These are much thicker, but these are very, very hard to get. As far as this guy that got me the bolts, that got me 8 bolts, even though I needed 7, but he found 8 of them, and they also have these washers on them, so you got to make sure it comes with these washers. He had got me some other bolts out of a transmission that he brought me in a bag, but they have no washers on them, so they honestly I have no use for them. There are new bolts in the Hellcat that I just finished, and other than that, he doesn't, you know, they're telling him, the ZF distributors are telling me there's no more around at the moment, so we just got to kind of wait and see what's going to happen. They're still working on this one to try to get them. I mean, I can do the unit, I'm just putting clutches in it. Here is the C piston. And they still got to work the engine and stuff like that, so they're going to let me know. These guys got contacts, I don't know, they might be calling Germany, I'm not really sure how that's going to work, but they said that they're working on getting the bolts. So, alright, we can hopefully start this teardown process here. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is take the O-ring off for the torque converter. Alright, then we're going to we'll take all the pump bolts out, and then we'll flip this up, take the pan out. I had the pan down already to drain it. We're going to take the pan down and take the valve body off, and then we'll be able to get the pump out. Okay, so these are T50 bolts. So for now, what I'll do is I'll put these back, but you can see the washers are staying on there, and the rubber pieces, you know, are coming off. So that's why, you know, I like to change these things. Are also the aluminum bolts. I guess they're torque to yield. So, you know, each one of these you got to change them. Okay, now I'm going to flip this up here, take the pan down. And then I'll get a little closer when we're taking the valve body off. And those bolts are a T40. filter. Okay. All right, so what I want to do now is reposition the camera more on top of the transmission. I'm going to take out all the larger bolts, which are T40, and the ones that hold the valve bar together are probably like 27. We're also going to take the sleeve out, and we're going to lift the valve body off and we'll be able to get the pump out from there. All right, so let me just reposition here. I want to get more on top so you guys can see a little better. Give me 1 second. Okay, so the first thing you do is you take this bolt out and you lift up on this lever. All right, and that is going to release the sleeve, and just pull the sleeve out. The sleeve actually fits a little tight in there, so I had to use actually a plier to pull the thing out. And this is actually a new one. We managed to get some sleeves for it. I believe they are the same as the 8HP90. But the sleeve was very, very tight. Okay, so now we're going to take the rest of the large bolts out. All right, we're going to unbolt the output speed sensor. Let's get the bolt out of here. Okay. All right, now again, all the larger ones, all the 40 torque bolts. And it's pretty much are all the same length here. And this should lift off. Okay. All right, now the next thing we got to release is the B clutch seal right there. Gotta get it moving. There we go. Okay. All right, now this pump, we should be able to move. All right, so what I want to do is reposition back, and when we get our screwdriver, we're going to put it in this area right here and give it a pry, and we should be able to get this thing to move. All right, just give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to pry that area so we can get this pump to move. Okay, that's pretty easy. Here is the pump. You have your A clutches in here, which we'll look at, and your B piston. All right, I also took this this back piece off. It's just a flange, no biggie. It has it's held in with a 34 millimeter 12-point nut. Okay, and now we're going to take off the P1 ring gear. All right, so again, this has 4 planet sets. And here are the B frictions. Okay, and the pressure plate, the stack up on a B clutch, the pressure plate goes in first, and the wave goes in last. Now, I've seen on the 70s, so it may happen also on the 90s, I've seen these brakes, so you want to just make sure these are good. And of course, these clutches look good. Like I said, may not find too much wrong here. Okay, so what I got to do now is I got to stand this up and I'm going to pull the whole assembly out. On this unit, there is no, on the 70 there's a snap ring that you have to take out. This doesn't have that. So this whole setup is going to slide out, but I got to stand this thing up. I got to get on the bench like I did with the 70 and pull it out as one unit. They don't want you just to try to yank this thing out like this because they think these cylinders maybe or something could get damaged. So I'm going to set up for that. I'm going to get the valve body out of the way. I don't want that to get damaged if the case tends to fall or something. I'm going to try to keep everything as steady as I can. All right, so just give me a minute. Let me make some room. I'm going to be standing the unit up in the hole here, and we're going to pull that assembly out. Okay, so I'm going to pull this whole assembly out as one. This sucker is heavy. Okay, that's that. All right. Behind that, when I took that flange off, there's a shim. All right, so we're going to put that over there. We don't want to lose that. All right, so let me reposition, and we're going to take the setup apart here. So now the case is stripped down. Okay, so now that's when these special tools come into play here. So we got the opening of the snap ring here. I'm going to put the tool. We got the P1 ring gear off. All right, so the opening of the snap ring is here. So we're going to go 180 degrees. And release the snap ring. Okay, here is your snap ring. Here's the P1 planet. Alright, the P1, the P2 sun gear, and again the splines are going to face up. We're going to remove the tool, so the drum looks good, got no damage to the drum. I'm going to pick out the input shaft and the P2 planet. Okay. And this here, again, just like on the 70, is the magnetic ring here that the input speed sensor reads, so you want to be very, very careful with that. Okay, P2 ring gear. I'm going to take out the next connecting shell here. Okay. And then while we're here, we're going to take the, all the way on the bottom is the D clutch drum. That's kind of like the P4 Planet ring gear down here. So we're going to move this shell. All right, and this again is going to get just re-clutched. It should be here sometime this morning. All right, now we have our smaller shell. All right, this is going to house the E and the C clutch drum. But first we're going to get the P3 Planet out here. And again, all right, I'm going to go 180 degrees. Now what I do, how I get this snap ring out, there's a hole. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a hole here that's 180 degrees apart from the opening of the snap ring. So I kind of get the snap ring away from the shell and then I work it around. Let me reposition here so you guys can see. Okay, so we got the ring on. All right, so let's get this ring away from the shell. And then I'm going to pick it up and work it around. There it is. Take the ring off. And the drum is good. Okay, so remove the planet. Alright, so until I get my parts, move this out of the way. Now we're going to take this whole assembly out. Alright, connecting shell. This here. Right, now we got two snap rings here we got to take out. One P3 ring gear. Second snap ring. Okay. Now we're going to lift out the E clutch. And we're going to lift out the C clutch. All right, you got a bearing here. And down here, you have a bearing on the bottom. Okay. So now the C clutch, we can actually take apart. I'll take it over to the press, take it apart, because I'm changing that piston. All right? So now the way to get this apart, you got your snap ring is here. This is your piston, and this is an inner piston here, like a balance piston. We're going to support this here. So this won't, because this is going to, when I take the snap ring out, this center is going to fall out. So we're going to support this, push it down, and take the snap ring out. All right, so I'm going to go do that, and I will be right back. So if you can find, for instance, what I do is I take like a bushing driver or something with a hole large enough to fit in my foot press, and I put this here, you know, to support that, and then everything will push down and this will stay up. All right, so just give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Okay. All right, I got the snap ring out. Pretty thick snap ring, you gotta be careful so this thing doesn't go flying. All right, and here's the piston. All right, so this is gonna come out as well. All right, so this piston is gonna be changed. And then these are your frictions and steels and wave. Okay, now on the 90s, well, maybe on the 70s too, but you just got to watch out for this. There's 2 sets of this type of steel. Okay, there's thick ones and there's thin ones. So you got to just make sure you put the right steels with the right drum. So make sure you just measure everything up. All right, so these actually are a little black here. Yeah, the steels are. Steel's got some burn marks on them. Wow. And I believe these units have fairly low mileage on them as well. Okay, again, so this is the C piston that I'm going to be installing, but I can't do anything until I get the clutches. I'm hoping they will be here. Said he was going to be here because I told him he knows I start early, so I'm going to just give it some time and see what happens. So again, this is a 2016 Demon ZF8HP90, and what we're doing is basically reclutching this unit, and we're going to put it back together again. But you know what? Let me put this aside because I can't do much with this. All right, I'm going to actually get the pump. And we'll take a look at the A clutches. Okay, the B's we saw. Okay, so we're going to get the snap ring out. Okay, this whole thing is going to lift out. You got your wave on the bottom, and these are the A clutches, which look okay. Okay, let's take a look at the D. All right, now to get this piston out, this piston you have to push down and you have to turn it, you know, hit it to line everything up. There's no snap ring, and it'll slide right out. Let me get a little closer in here. Okay. these suckers all burned. You know, again, I don't know how this car worked. I'm not really sure if they're running these things on tracks with this unit. I'm not really sure what they're doing, but you know, they bring me this stuff because they said they're getting more horsepower out of the engine and they want the transmission done, but we can only do so much with the parts available. Okay, and here is the E. Let me just put you guys on hold. I'll take the snap ring off. Again, I'm going to push down here on the press. I'll take the snap ring off and take a look at those clutches. And then who knows, maybe these guys will show up. Okay, just give me a few minutes again. I will be right back. Okay. Here's the snap ring. This comes off much easier than it does on the C. Okay, piston. I asked my supplier, you know, I asked Ericsson if the C piston is the same because they actually got about 3 of those C pistons, and he said that they're not. All right, wave. Okay, so it looks like that the E clutch has thinner steels than the C, but you know, you can, for instance, take a C clutch steel and it'll fit. So you got to be careful there. All right, the C steel is thicker than the E clutch steel. All right, and you have your return spring here, of course. All right, but these don't look too bad. Looks like the D and the C are a little singed. Silver. Okay. All right. All right, so let me just stop there for now, and we'll see what happens. These guys may show up. There's other things that I'm going to do around the shop real quick, and we'll see what happens. All right, so if anything, I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next one, and hopefully these guys will show up and I can continue, and we can set this up with the clutches. All right, so hopefully we'll see you soon. All right, so I got the stuff. These are the frictions along with the steel. All right, so I'm going to open all this up, get everything ready to go, and then we can stack up the clutch packs. All right, so just give me a little bit. I want to separate everything, get everything set up, and I'll be ready to go. So I'll be back in a few. All right, so we're going to build up the drums. I will start with the D clutch first. All right, so I can get that out of the way. All right, so we got to take the wave. We're going to take the pressure plate and snap ring. All right, the rest put aside. All right, so the wave will go in first. Plate. Okay. Clearance looks good. This drum is done. All right, now we're going to do the E clutch. All right, so we got to reuse the wave plate here. All right, I'm going to take them all out except for. Alright, this actually is the pressure plate, and this gets reused. Okay, so the E clutch, remember, are the thinner steels. Alright, so now we alternate. and then I'll put the snap ring on. All right, so that is the E. And what I want to do is just get these off the bench as I use them. Okay, so now the C clutch. Give me 1 second. Okay, now we do the C clutch, and those are the thicker. So again, we have the pressure plate. Okay. And we have our new seat clutch piston. So they managed to get this one, but for some reason they can't get the others. Take this out. Okay. Put this aside here. Alright, so here's the seat piston that we do not need anymore. Seat frictions. Okay. Let me just fix this a little. Okay. All right, so now we're just going to do the A. And then actually I have to run out. I won't be able to go any further, so I'm going to end it there. Okay, so we have the hub, which has to be in. I'm going to put our wave. Okay. Then we start. There is a space, so you got to get the space, the opening in the right spot. So the steel will drop right down. Plate, snap ring, very good. Okay, and then the B, you can just set that up real quick. Wave, and the pressure plate, which of course would go in first. Okay. All right, so that's as far as I can go at this time. Actually, I have to run out. So this again, but when these guys begin dropping this stuff off, the good thing is they, it says they probably gonna have about 4 more of these to do, but they're waiting at least for 4 or 5 more sets of frictions. You know, friction modules, which is the clutches and the steels. They got more filter kits coming because that's available. We got some sleeves. You know, sleeves, I mean these here. But so far they're on overhaul kits ready, and they're going to see what they can do as far as other pistons. So I guess that is about it. ZF8HP90 out of a Demon. And we're basically just reclutching this unit and changing out whatever pistons we can, which in this case is the C piston. And that is about it. So I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. And we will see you next one. And as far as the ZF8HP90, I'm going to try to do one, once I get everything set, a reassembly. But it's really not that bad to do. It's actually, you know, you have the right tools and stuff. It's fairly simple to work on. All right, guys, we'll see you next one.